Hey, I'm Amy Chang, and I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, and this is Healthy AF. Here, we're going to bring to you all things health. You'll hear stories of people who have transformed their health, and in the meantime, transformed their lives. We'll answer those burning questions about the newest health strategies, and we'll tackle some common roadblocks that my clients bring to me all the time. Lastly, we're going to talk to some practitioners who will bring to you different modalities that they're passionate about and how you could benefit from using those. So buckle in. We're going to be inspired, instructed, and have a little fun with Healthy AF. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Healthy AF. This one is a two-parter, actually, and it comes straight out of a conversation that I had with my dear friend Shannon. We grew up in the same area, clearly in the South, and we were talking actually about nutrition and our nutrition patterns and how we grew up. And she said to me, so much of the stuff we ate back then was just horrible for you. And I said, really? And she said, well, yeah. I mean, we ate the green beans, but it was never the green beans. It was always the green beans with the fat back and the salt and the corn. We always had the corn or some sort of like even table sugar or something in it. And, we just kind of made the green beans unhealthy. And I got to thinking about that and thinking about the way we grew up. And I came up with 4 questions that you can use to explore those habits that you had or didn't have that are serving you or not serving you in your current life. So this is part 1. And the questions we're going to ask today are, what habits did you grow up with that were healthy? And what habits did you grow up with that were unhealthy? And I'm going to stick to the green beans, okay? So in chatting with my friend, we were talking about the green beans and how much lard was put into the green beans, which may not have been the healthiest choice. And we talked about how much salt was in the green beans, which again may negate some of that that nutrition. Oh, and the nutritive value, man, them green beans are cooked down to mush. Okay. We're going to be having them on the stove for hours. And by the time we serve them, they're not going to have any texture in them at all. So when we look at that, what habit did we grow up with that was healthy? Well, I said to her, yeah, those green beans were cooked down to mush and they had fat back in it and they were loaded up with salt. But how many of those green beans were green beans you grew on your own land in your garden? All of them. All those green beans were either fresh in the summer and you might have picked them that morning and strung them and cooked them that night, or they were canned and we used them over the winter. So when you look at, we talk about nutritive value, they literally had a shelf life of 4 hours from the time we picked them to the time we were cooking them to the time we were eating them. Well, that's a really healthy habit. It's also super healthy that we were just eating at home. We were cooking meals at home from fresh foods and eating it. So when you tease apart that habit of, wow, we ate foods that weren't cooked well, there's another whole part to look at that. That's the part you keep. That's the part you build up in the habit that you want to move forward. So let's look at that other side. What habit did you have growing up? What habits did you have growing up that were unhealthy? Well, what was unhealthy was cooking it until it was mush, although truth be told, I'm a sucker for a green bean mush. Not going to lie. but cooking it down until it was mush, maybe over salting it. And you know what? My verdict is out on fats right now. I feel like that's a very personal decision, but if you really didn't want the caloric load and or the fat load from the fat back, then you would not want that in your green beans. So I'm going to give that one a neutral, depending on where you're at in your life, what your genetics are, and what you're trying to accomplish. My point is in the story is that one thing I see that is helpful in coaching that you can learn to do for yourself, that I try to train my clients to do for themselves, their little inner coach, is when you're looking at your habits and what habits you want to have and how hard it's going to be for you to break them, what you want to add in. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Sit down, make you up a list, 2 sheets of or 2 columns on your paper. What healthy habit did I have, or what habit did I grow up with that was unhealthy? And what habit did I grow up with that was healthy? And start pulling apart those examples about like really what was it? You know, you could do the same thing for my cartoons on Saturday morning. Every Saturday morning, my brother and I would get up and we would watch cartoons from the time we got up, probably 6 o'clock-ish, until the time Mama had breakfast done, about 7:38. We'd all sit down and eat breakfast, and then it was time for chores. I had to clean the little bathroom, okay? Brian and Daddy went outside to start the yard work. I had to do little bathroom and dusting. Mama had the vacuuming and the cleaning the kitchen. So in some ways you could look and say like, wow, you started off your day with 2 hours of screen time. Well, yeah, but it was also, that might be in the unhealthy column, but what's healthy is I started off my unscheduled weekend time with 2 hours of whatever what I wanted to do. And that's a pretty healthy habit. So that might be something I carry into adulthood. And in fact, I do that now. I start out my day with doing whatever I want to for a specified amount of time. And then I'm ready. I'm recharged and I'm ready. So when you start looking at habit change and you start looking at how am I wired, we might want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't be tempted to do that. Sit down, make you a list, really look. Then ditch the stuff that doesn't work for you anymore and use a way to stack your new habits that you do want using the habits that are already pre-wired in you that are desirable and healthy. Okay, part 2 is going to address the question. I had to write these down. I could mess this up so easily. Maybe I have. I don't know. Part 2 is what habits did you not grow up with that were healthy? And what habits did you not grow up with that were unhealthy? So stay tuned. Give yourself some grace. Subscribe to the channel and listen to that podcast next. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Healthy AF podcast. I hope that it has helped you create a new possibility for your health and sets you into action to go get it. If you want more information or if you want to connect with me, visit my website at myhealthylife.coach. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that each new Healthy AF episode will be sent directly to you. Let's take you from where you are to where you want to go.